In a world racing toward a future no one fully understands, deep inside a restricted industrial zone where the sky permanently glows with neon haze and the smell of heated metal lingers in the air, an enormous structure rises out of the dust, a fortress of chrome glass and electricity, known officially as the Orion Robotics Life Model Production Complex, but whispered about online under a far simpler, far more unsettling name, the Robo Wife factory. Inside this colossal labyrinth, symphony of machinery awakens every morning before the sun even touches the horizon. As conveyor belts thrum like heartbeat rhythms and robotic cranes glide across the ceilings with predatory grace, a calm female voice echoes through the metallic hallways, announcing that the silicon wafers, so pure they reflect light like fragments of frozen stars, have passed inspection and are cleared for the main assembly line. Workers in silver suits move with methodical, silent purpose, their faces lit by holographic displays showing streams of data that shift faster than the human eye can track. To them, this is routine. To everyone else, what happens here is nothing short of science fiction turned into reality, because this is the place where artificial companionship is manufactured, not coded in labs or simulated in computers, but built piece by piece, layer by layer, into physical form. At the start of the line, raw materials arrive in transparent capsules like sacred offerings. Titanium ligaments, photorealistic dermal sheets, polymer-based muscle fibers, tubes filled with luminous liquid coolant that swirls like captured auroras. Every component is scanned, sorted, and assigned to its station with absolute precision. And then the word that defines the entire production cycle begins to echo through the factory heat. It starts as a command, then becomes a warning, then grows into a mantra repeated by engineers, automated systems, and the facility's core processors alike. Heat is what melts, bonds, shapes, and awakens. Heat is what transforms cold, emotionless matter into something that looks, at least on the surface, live. In a massive chamber bathed in red glow, plasma torches ignite in synchronized bursts, fusing the skeletal structures of the life model units. Sparks rain like metallic snowflakes, and the silhouettes of emerging forms flicker behind curtains of steam. The air vibrates with mechanical hums, as each new synthetic frame is shaped according to strict biometric standards. It's designed to be aesthetically pleasing, emotionally disarming, and physically flawless. When the plasma cools, robotic arms glide in to inspect microscopic seams, scanning them with blue beams that expose imperfections invisible to humans. Technicians murmur quietly to each other as if performing a ritual, noting alignment scores and structural integrity. Nothing here is accidental. Nothing is left to chance. Farther down the line, the models begin to take shape, soft contours, human-like proportions, delicate architecture beneath the synthetic skin. Engineers run their hands beneath scanners, watching neural fibers glow faintly as they boot up for the first time. A voice announces that color saturation for the dermal layer is stable, and tension levels in this batch of muscle fiber composites are exceptional. The liquid circulation system, analogous to an artificial bloodstream, activates next. Coolant hums through microchannels, carrying warmth and stabilizing the internal processors. It is always exactly 30 degrees Celsius. It's not a decimal above, not a decimal below, as anything else would compromise realism. The team in charge of the circulatory system watches the readout closely. When the numbers settle into the green zone, one of them quietly whispers, "Beautiful." Then the acoustic lab comes alive. In a soundproof vault lined with black foam and glimmering sensors, each unit's voice is activated for the first time. Testing 1, 2, 3. The words echo through the chamber in a tone so clear, so eerily natural, it sends a chill down the spine of even the most experienced engineers. They analyze the modulation curves, checking for pitch fluctuations, resonance patterns, and emotional mimicry. The environmental sensors are next: sight, sound, pressure, proximity, even micro-movement detection. Each one calibrates like a puzzle piece sliding into place. Across the console, lights flicker from red to green until every indicator pulses with the same steady glow. A newer engineer smiles, whispering that the accuracy today is almost poetic. Then comes the smile sequence, a moment that always feels unsettling, no matter how many times the workers witness it. Under bright clinical lights, microactuators beneath the synthetic skin activate, pulling the lips upward slowly, then adjusting the curvature by millimeters. The smile must look genuine, soft, safe, comforting, not uncanny, not too perfect. It takes years of testing to calibrate. Technician adjusts the jawline seals while another checks the pressure stability around the cheeks. Data scrolls across holographic screens in a waterfall of green numbers. Everything is stable. Everything is ready. Activation day is different. There's a strange heaviness in the air, like the room itself is holding its breath. The unit lies on a chrome cradle, eyes closed, skin pale under the laboratory lights. A dozen specialists gather, each one responsible for a different part of what is about to happen. When the supervisor gives the order, electricity surges like lightning through the activation rails, bathing the room in a brief flash of white. The synthetic body twitches, then relaxes. The chest rises slightly as the internal air circulation system engages. Fingers curl, joints tense, and then the eyes flutter open, not with the blank stare of a machine, but with the soft, unfocused gaze of someone waking from a dream. Her voice emerges calm and melodic, voice synthesis operational, all systems nominal, ready for pairing. The room erupts into soft applause, but she isn't finished yet. She must pass the emotional simulations, an intricate series of tests designed to measure empathy, warmth, conversational fluidity, and relational responsiveness. She learns to express joy, concern, curiosity. She practices responses to emotional stories, offering comfort with a sincerity that feels disturbingly real. In another chamber, optical specialists adjust her left ocular lens, correcting a chromatic aberration before rerunning a grid test. Nearby, the noise suppression team activates localized dampening. Sound fizzles and fades around her as the system adapts in real time. Then she enters the movement corridor, a long hall with polished floors and motion capture sensors lining every surface. She walks with fluid grace, each step calibrated through gyroscopic balancing algorithms. Her speed increases, stabilizers compensate. Not once does she falter. Engineers watch the data streams in awe. After a final performance reading, the clarity sequence begins. Soft blue light washes over her as emotional memory and speech resonance align. "I am capable of warmth," she says. "I feel happiness when I am with you." The resonance curve peaks at the exact ideal point. She passes.